how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. How are you? I feel like it's been forever. At least it has been for me. Like, I haven't filmed a video in, I want to say, over like a week and a half, which is for me is like crazy because I'm usually filming at least once a week. So I was quite ill for a second. Oh, and it wasn't pleasant. And I didn't want to get on camera because I was fucking disgusting. But we're back, baby. Healthier, better, skintier than ever. Look at me, I'm so petite and tiny. I'm such a small girl. What am I talking about? Hi, welcome to my March TBR. It feels like it was literally like a minute ago that I was doing my February TBR. So the fact that we're already here, it's a bit crazy. Although February is the shortest month, isn't it? Yes it is. For my TBR, we have a few themes. I'm pretty sure that March is like International Women's Month or something, or women get like one day in March. I honestly don't remember. Plus I know that like women of horror is like a big thing in March, I think. I hope I'm right. I honestly did zero research, so if I'm wrong, whatever. But also at the same time, like, should we not just be reading from women all the time? I have a bunch of horror from a bunch of women, and we're gonna talk about all the things I want to read, including my Patreon book club pick for March, which I'm very excited for because I've been wanting to read it for like months. I just haven't gotten around to it. So unlike me, because I'm so just on top of things. I just read things as soon as I get them. You know me. Like I said, for my Patreon book club, which by the way, if you want to join the Patreon, we do reading sprints. There's exclusive content on Patreon that isn't on YouTube. So if you want to see like full reading vlogs that aren't on YouTube that are on Patreon, do that. There's like extra journaling content on Patreon as well. I make content schedules for my patrons every month so that they can know like when things are coming out. They get early access to things. Listen, if you want extra Jordaline stuff, Patreon is where you got to go. For March, on the Patreon, we will be reading Julia Armfield's Our Wives Under the Sea. This cover, first of all, is stunning. It's the UK edition. The American or like North American edition is actual ass. I don't want to like discourage anyone's art. I don't want to shit on anyone's art. The North American cover, no. After you see this and then you see this, you're like, oh, who were you not in contact? Did you not know that? Did you not see this one and then think, oh yes, I should probably make it just as good, maybe even better? And then no, you didn't. You really dropped the ball, Tom. This is our Patreon pick for March. And this is like a horror literary thriller moment. This is basically about this girl, this woman. I forget her name. Her name is Miri. And she is like so excited. She's like at the door. The house is beautiful. It's clean. She's cooked a bunch of stuff. Everything's stunning. Everything is perfect. You know, because she knows that this is the day that her wife is coming back from like the war or something, because her wife has been like out at sea, you know, like doing sea things. I don't know. She's like in the Marines or something. I don't know. And then her wife comes home, but things are weird. Her wife is not her wife. Her wife is like suspicious. And Miri thinks that there is something that replaced her wife. She thinks that her wife is still in the sea and that something else came back in her place. I'm very excited to read this. Listen, everyone and their mom, their dad, their dog loves this. Rufus loves it. I'm so excited to read this. I just want to know if it's good. So if you want to join our book club for March and read this with us, please check out the link in my description. Enough of my shameless plugging. Onwards. I want to talk about a few books actually that I don't have. I haven't bought them yet, but I plan to eventually, hopefully this month. And if I do buy them, I'm gonna immediately sink my little vampire, my little spider teeth into them. One of those is The Creeper by A.M. Shine. I think I did talk about The Watchers by A.M. Shine in my last wrap up. I think I did. I loved that book. It was so good. It was creepy. It was like fast paced. It was like mystery, suspense, twist. Like it was like fucking at my face the whole time, and I loved it. So his newest book, The Creeper, also sounds like very similar, but like creepy. It sounds like it's gonna be fun. So The Creeper, it's about this guy. He's looking for people to go with him to this place or whatever, because he's like a scientist or like a researcher or something like that. And so these two people get chosen to go with him, and they're like really excited. They're like, hell yeah, we're gonna be like famous. We're gonna do all this wonderful work with this like crazy scientist researcher guy. It's like, we're gonna be like in papers and periodicals and lol. And so they get to this place, only for them to realize that this place is like forgotten. This place is like almost like half abandoned. Not only that, but like the locals, the people in this like village town are like very rude. They're like very, very rude. And so they're like, this is not what I thought I was signing up for. What's also really very strange and very suspicious is like none of the locals will like talk about why they do all these weird things, because like after a certain point, they all close their doors, they all close their windows, they know everybody locks up for the night. Like there is like a curfew almost, and nobody wants to talk about it except for this little girl who says like, if he sees you 3 times, he's gonna get closer every single time, and the 3rd time he'll kill you. And so they're like, that's a weird superstition. And then on one of their first nights, what do they see but some weird ass supernatural figure in their windows, and they're like, didn't see this coming at all. Like, I'm so excited. It sounds very similar to The Watchers, and like honestly, I don't even care. Like this person, if this person like wants to like recycle these like plots, these like kind of like, you know, stereotypical, you know, Watcher, Creeper, like mystery, supernatural force like creeping up on you, and like, you know, I don't care. I don't care, because it's fun, it's fascinating, and it's fast paced, and it's creepy, and I really love it. I'm really excited to read The Creeper. Like I said, I don't own it, but I'm gonna buy it. Another book that I don't have but I want, and that I'm thinking about getting, and if I do get it, I'm gonna read it in March. That is Encyclopedia of Fairies by Emily Wilde, I think, or I can't remember. I know very little about this, except I saw one person on TikTok talk about how much they loved it. Let me know in the comments if you have read this, because I want to know what you think of it. I've heard multiple people say that it's really, really good. Also, the cover is stunning. I have a bunch of horror written by women about this much. I really hope that I read some of these, because I need to get them off my TBR. Like, they have been on my TBR for too long at this point, and I don't want to get rid of them because I am actively interested in their plot, but some of them, they need to be read. One of them is Naomi Booth's Sealed. Look at that cover, first of all. It's absolutely stunning. This is like a horror pregnancy thing. So if you're triggered by pregnancy, by like fucked up pregnancy shit, don't do it. This, from what I know, is about this woman named Alice. Alice and her partner, Pete, are done with the city. They've heard a bunch of rumors about this like disease that like seals up your skin, and they're like, we need to get out. We need to leave. And they're trying to like outrun basically like this sickness, this like disease. And so in their heads, they're like, disease is gonna spread faster when there's more people around. Of course. So they go out to like the middle of nowhere. They go to like the mountains or whatever. They think this will be better, but the mountains have their own little dangers as well. And it says, with their relationship under intolerable pressure, violence erupts, and Alice is faced with the unthinkable as she fights to protect her unborn child. I'm really excited to read this, and I've had it for maybe like a year or two, so I really need to actually read it. Also, it's like not a long book. Like, what am I even doing? I should stop being judgmental. Like, I always do that. I'm always like, oh, like it's only like 100 pages. Like, stop. Like, you didn't read it, so what? Like, get over it. But also, but that's also, anyway, I just need to be like nicer to myself. I'm realizing that. Anyway, next up, let's talk about this book, which I think came out not that long ago. That is The Fervor by Alma Katsu. I have heard only the best things about Alma Katsu. First of all, I must make a confession. I've never read her work before. This is honestly the first book from her that I even bought. In this, we are following Meiko and her daughter Aiko. It's 1944. World War II is raging on. It's happening. Meiko and her daughter are sent to an internment camp in Seattle. Even though they're both like technically American, they're like, no, you're Japanese, so you have to go to the internment camp. And then mother and daughter attempt to hold on to elements of their old life in the camp when a mysterious disease begins to spread among those interned. And basically how this works is like, somebody will get like a little cold like a little, like a little teeny tiny little flu, and then it'll slowly gradually work up to like, I guess almost like a delirium where they'll attack people and like be super violent and stuff. Sometimes even they'll just like die. Maiko and her daughter are like really suspicious. They're like, this is weird. This doesn't seem right. And they know that something like more sinister is like afoot, right? Because a demon from the stories of Maiko's childhood, hellbent on infuriating their already strange world. And it says that it's inspired by Japanese yokai, and the Jurogumu spider demon explores the horror of supernatural beyond just the threat of the occult. I'm interested to read this. It sounds unlike anything I've ever read before. It's like, I'm a little bit confused about like the disease and like how a demon could be involved in that, but I'm excited to see what happens. So, so cute. Despite me having almost zero idea of what this is about, I really want to read it because I've heard people everywhere say that it's amazing. So I'm hoping I can read it, and that is Tell Me I'm Worthless by Alison Roomfit. This, from what I know, is written by a trans author. On the back of my copy, it says, "The house, it worms into your brain and your heart. By the time I got out, I was different." I literally don't know what that means. It says 3 friends, 2 survivors, 1 night in a haunted house. Nothing was ever the same. So I literally don't know what to expect other than a haunted house story and maybe like survive the night kind of moment. But other than that, I don't know. All I know, really all I know, Becky, all I know, Tiffany, all I know, Jonathan, is that people love this. They go mad for it. And I don't understand. Obviously, I've never read it. So I want to read it. I want to understand. I want to be in the cult. So I can't even, it's like kind of embarrassing how much I've talked about this book and how much I have not read it. I have not read it. It's like almost as if my body, my mind, my emotions refuse it. Like I talk about it. I'm like, I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it. And then I never read it. This Bloodline by Jess Lowry. If you watch my channel, you can see me month after month talking about this. Like from the moment I bought it, I was like, can't wait to get to that. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be so fresh. It's going to be so like fast paced. And then literally nothing. And like, again, I want to be kinder to myself. I don't want to be like, I'm so stupid for not reading a book. Like who cares? Who actually gives a flying fuck? But it's been a long time coming. I might honestly read this right away in the month. So this is inspired by true events, which I don't know how I never knew that. Maybe I did and I just forgot. But this is about Joan Harkin. Joan Harkin is approached by her husband. By the way, she's like pregnant also. He's like, baby, let's move to my hometown and like live there with our child. And Joan is like, okay. Like, the city is kind of a bummer. Like, it's not as like, I guess, cozy as like a small town or whatever. So yeah, let's move to your hometown. Joan is almost like seduced even more through the motto of the town, which is come home forever, which is so creepy. And yet, when she gets there, something is off in the picture perfect village. The friendliness. People are too friendly. It's like intrusive. It's like weird friendly. Like nobody is actually that nice. You know what I mean? And so Joan is given like the ick. Joan is like, no, you guys are weird. You guys are creepy. And so she can't shake the feeling also that she's being watched, that she's being like tracked through this little village by somebody, by something. And then to make things worse, she sort of accidentally, I guess, uncovers this like missing case of this boy who vanished like years ago. When Joan goes to her husband about feeling weird about the people, feeling watched, this little boy, her husband is like, baby, you're crazy. It's the pregnancy. The pregnancy has you stupid, Joan. You're fine. Don't even worry about it. It's giving like very Stepford Wives kind of energy. So she's like, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe I am just like in my head. Maybe I'm too in my head. My little bird brain. I'm a little stupid bird brain girl. But then she also thinks like maybe this town is just f***ed up. I'm so excited to read this. Like I said, I can't wait to read it. And I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read you. In case you don't know, I am a Samantha Kolesnik stan. I love her so much. I've only read one of her books, but I'm like literally obsessed. But I really want to read Waif by Samantha Kolesnik. I've had this for like a year. I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to. Do I know what it's about? Absolutely not. I think it's gonna be like a weird, like meek woman becomes sexual deviant through like violence or something. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think it also might be gay. I feel like it's gonna be gay. So yeah, I'm excited. I literally cannot find this book for the life of me, and it annoys me so much because I know I have it here somewhere. But that is The Between by Pinata Reeve Dew. This is one of her books that I have owned again for a while. It's been a minute. I haven't read it yet though because, you know, busy, life gets in the way. I really, really, really want to read it this month, especially with horror in women, and like Pinata Reeve Dew is like an actual icon. From what I know, this is about this guy, right? When he's a child, he's like in the ocean. He's like swimming, he's swimming, and I'm like, oh no. And he almost drowns. And then his grandma gets in the water. She's like fighting for her life. And she gets to him, she saves him, but she ends up dying, sadly. And then he becomes older, like an adult, and he starts to, I think, have strange dreams, strange like visions, becomes aware that his time on earth is coming to a close because he was cheated, rather because death was cheated out of his death. Really don't know what to expect. All I know is everyone loves it, and everyone loves it. And like everyone loves Pinata Reeve Dew, so like it's gonna be amazing. I just need to actually read it. I also need to actually just find it. I need to find it. I might just buy a new copy because I also want to get the new editions. Anyway, the last horror I have from a woman is this, which is Little Eve by Catriona Ward. I never read Sundial from her. I did read House on Needless Street. Yeah, I thought it was fine. Heard like very mixed things about Sundial, so I never picked it up. But Little Eve, I have heard a bunch of people say is super, super good, and that it's like a very like good cult horror novel. In this, we're following a group of people in Scotland. It's like a clan kind of thing. They're really focused on preparing for the end of the world. They're like, the apocalypse is coming. We must prepare for the apocalypse. And so, you know, they're all doing their little thing or whatever. Everybody in this little cult, this little clan knows that the adder is coming. And so they're all ready to be, you know, blessed, I guess, or something by the adder. They all know that one of their number will inherit its powers. And our little main character, I think she's our main character, young Eve, is like, I would be so good at being in the adder. Like, why doesn't nobody wants me to be the adder? It's like honestly kind of rude. Eve is like determined, but then things kind of go wrong for Eve and for like basically like the whole clan when this like detective guy shows up because like he's like investigating this like horrible murder that like happened around there. And then, you know, one of their sacred ceremonies also goes like terribly wrong. And soon all the secrets will be uncovered. Again, I get why people would be into this because it sounds so good. Not only that, but the cover. Oh my God, the cover. Stunning. I very rarely ever read cult horror, but I'm excited to get to this one. Let's talk about a few horror books written by men. So first of all, I'm going to read this month Pinata by Leopoldo Gout. I got 33 pages into this, reading it physically, and listen, I wanted so badly to read it, but I just, something about physically reading a book, I just can't do it. I'm a f***ing chump. But also not a chump because I'm being nice to myself. The physical copy comes out in March, I think on the 17th or the 18th. And so I'm going to listen to the audiobook of this month because I'm dying to read it. This is about Carmen, right? Carmen is like a mother of two. Her and her kids go to Mexico. Originally they're from like New York or something, but they go to Mexico because Carmen gets this job to be like a construction manager person. We're like this hotel because they're like building this like huge thing. Carmen goes, she brings her kids, everyone's like literally miserable. Like her kids don't want to be there. They're like, we want to stay in like America. But she's like, no, we're going to Mexico. This is our heritage. This is our culture. You haven't been here. Like, let's go. When an accident on the work site of Carmen's job unearths a stash of rare and centuries old artifacts, the whole thing like costs Carmen her job, everything. Basically their trip is cut short. Like they're like, we're going home. We're leaving. But then once they are back in America, they realize that something malevolent and unexplainable, maybe it may have followed them home, stalking the Sanchez family and heralding a coming catastrophe. It may already be too late to escape what's been awakened. Just this cover alone has me fucked up. Like, look at this cover, look at it, Tiffany, and tell me you don't think that's stunning, first of all, but also just captivating in every single way possible. Like, I can't. It's so beautiful. In February, I read episode 13 by Craig DeLuey, but I loved Stuff for the Children by Craig DeLuey. And so I have one other book of his that I have not read, and that is The Children of Red Peak, also a cult book. It says, they escaped the cult, but are they free? By the way, can you tell with my makeup that I have like white freckles? Like, is that even visible in the camera? I hope it is, because it's literally stunning. Anyway, so in this, we're following 3 people. These 3 people all share one thing. They all were part of this huge cult, like when they were children, but thankfully they escaped. And now as adults, they're just like living their lives, trying to do their best. And then one of the people who also survived the cult has killed themselves. It's very horrible. R.I.P. All 3 of them sort of come together. They start talking about the cult, and like old trauma is basically like dug up, you know? Old wounds are reopened in a way. And it says, discovering the terrifying truth might put them on a path back to Red Peak, and escaping a second time could be almost impossible. I'm so excited. I really hope that this is as good as Stuff for the Children, just because episode 13 kind of had me fucked up. But if Craig can do me this one favor also, that'd be great. Let me know also in the comments if you've read this and what you thought of it. Please. Thanks. The last book I want to talk about, because this TBR is huge, like, oh my god, is Ronald Malfi's Little Girls. This is a ghost story by Ronald Malfi. I tried to read Come With Me by Ronald Malfi. Oh, sorry, my stomach growls. I'm very hungry. I tried to read Come With Me by Ronald Malfi. I got like halfway through and I literally could not care about that. Like, I was so bored. I was done. I didn't like it. But I'm hoping that with this book, things might be better, because in this book, we're following a woman and not a man. Because I think what it was like, the main character was like this dude that I just couldn't really relate to him in any way. So I was like, whatever. This, I think, could be promising. So basically, this is about Lori. So Lori has to go back to her childhood home where her father, who used to be very cold and distant, maybe even like abusive. So it's really not like a happy place for her. She's not really like, yay, I get to go home and clean up my dead dad's stuff. Like, she's like, this is a bummer. This is a bummer. So she brings her kid, her daughter, with her to her old childhood home. And so she starts cleaning things up, and it says no amount of cleaning can wipe away the troubled past. She can feel it lurking in the broken molding, see it staring from an empty picture frame. And at first, Lori is like, I'm going crazy. Obviously, like, it's probably like the mold or something, like something weird's happening, but it's like, it's not supernatural, it's fine. And then her daughter is like, hey, this is my new friend. Who is it? Who is it but a girl who looks exactly like a girl that Lori used to know when she was a kid? A girl who had died. With each passing day, Lori's uneasiness grew stronger, her thoughts more disturbing. Like her father, is she slowly losing her mind? Is something truly unspeakable happening? Listen, it sounds so good. Honestly, I feel like it could be amazing. I usually don't love mass market paperbacks, but this copy, for some reason, there's something so like sturdy about it. And I kind of love it. I think I honestly might like annotate. Oh my god, my stomach. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry if you can hear it. My friends, my family, my familia, daddy. Thank you so much for watching this video, for being here with me during this time. I've missed you. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're literally fucking striving and thriving, bitch. I'm sure you are. Like, literally, look at you. Look at you. You're gorgeous, intelligent, clever, like, resourceful. Like, what can you not do? Exactly. Exactly. You're literally perfect. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to hit subscribe, because we talk about spooky shit. We talk about creepy shit. We talk about Pinata. Yeah. And our wives being under the sea. It's like quite troubling, actually. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next one. Bye. Goodbye. Au revoir. Au revoir. Need to stop. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.